The angle is correct. Okay.
All right, guys, welcome back to No Filter MMA. This is your boy BJ, and I am here and I am live with yet another interview. Today, I am joined by a very special guest by the name of Goodge. He is an up and coming MMA fighter coming out of the UK, fighting for Contenders. How you doing, man?
I'm good, BJ. I'm very good, thank you. How are you
So,
today?
man,
Good.
I'm good, man. It's what time is it over there? It's a little early over here.
It
It's
says,
10 a.m. here.
oh, I know, much earlier than here, bro. Bang on 3 p.m. Bang on the money.
So look, man. So how's life in quarantine over there in the UK, man? It's
uh,
it's it's a fiasco over here in the US.
it's been interesting. Like it's starting to ease up now. Like you'll go to certain areas and you wouldn't even know you're in a quarantine if it wasn't for the masks and whatnot. But there's still rules and regulations. Gyms are limited. Uh, like right now, the classes that I'm allowed to go to is literally just it's all socially distanced bag work. So you have your own bag and your own designated area. But apart from that, it's getting there, getting there.
So when you're talking, training for MMA and keeping, training for an MMA fight and keeping, yourself fresh and you have to come in contact with people. Like you have to
Yeah,
touch
yeah.
people. So tell us what's that
Uh,
like?
It was a weird one. So when the fight got announced, like when I was first contacted to compete on it, they were saying they've found some ways and there's some government guidelines and everything. But obviously back then, and a couple of weeks, well, about 8 weeks ago, when I first found out, no gyms were open. You still got a distance. You got to self isolate. No one could get in contact with anyone. So obviously preparing for a fight, I was doing as much as I can. I had my coaches in contact with me, so I was doing all stuff on my own, working, training, running. And then the closer I got to the fight, I where there's a like to say where there's a will, there's a way. So I was setting up my own backyard like cages and stuff, and I was having friends come over, and we were just beating the crap out of each other trying to get ready for this fight. So found a way.
So when you got that, when you heard that Contenders, what I'm saying, when you first got contacted that they're doing like a drive-in MMA event, I mean that was huge for you
Yeah.
guys over there. What was your
Oh, it's
initial
crazy.
thoughts when you heard that they were doing that?
I was taken back at first because I was like really, I was kind of thinking in my head, trying to imagine like a scenario, just wanting to compete as soon as I can, and then finding out that there was a potential opportunity that I could fight. I was over the moon. It was like straight away, like a switch went. I think everyone was kind of in that slump, like, oh, we're in quarantine. Everyone's kind of ticking through. But then as soon as I had that, it's like, no, it's go time. Time to fight, like start getting ready. So that gave me loads of motivation. And then to hear how they didn't release any information at first, it was all like drip fed. And then on one day they were just released like driving, and I was like, oh my days, I was taken back. I was like, this is now a part of sport and history, the first of its kind. So it was always going to be an awesome show to be a part of.
And they pulled it off, and
They
Contenders
really did.
pulled it off.
They really
Yeah,
did.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's the weather as well. Like it was predicted at one point there was going to be thunderstorms and everything those 2 days back to back, and then the weather it just held out. I think it started to rain slightly at the end, but apart from that, like it all lined up. Like God's plan was all good.
Yeah, man, because and it looked amazing. So
Mm.
now I've interviewed guys who have fought for Contenders a lot. Richard Mearns, Scott
Yeah,
Butters. I've interviewed those
yeah.
guys multiple times, and they have nothing but raves. They have nothing but great things to say about Contenders. So,
Yeah.
what do you what was your experience working with
Well,
Contenders?
my experience has been pretty good. I'm pretty lucky. Obviously, I'm really early out in my career, like
Yeah,
ridiculously early. But the gym that I trained at, Elite in Norwich, the guys that owned that also owned Contenders. So straight away, I was like funneled in, and it was like perfect. I wasn't like they had the show there for me off the bat. But watching Scott compete, who was one of my coaches, a great man, I owe a lot to him. He inspired me a lot to get to where I am.
yep,
But yeah, it's
great
the
man.
perfect. Yeah, he's the guy's a hero. Like if you speak to him, what he's done, he's been through. Like also at the same time being a dad, raising a family, still full time coaching and fighting. Like he's a very unique, special man. So I wouldn't
Oh
even be
yeah.
here if it wasn't for him. So I'm very grateful. And Richard Mearns as well. I spoke to the two brothers at Contenders because obviously they were there. And again, I really want to go up and train with them one day because they seem like they had nothing but praise to say about Scott as well.
Dude,
and
that'd be awesome, dude.
I definitely plan on going traveling that way so I could just train with them and learn a bit as well because they gave me some words of wisdom which I really appreciated.
Man, you're being led by the right type of guys, bro.
Yeah.
You're being led by great examples being put in front of you. So Luke, okay, so you're very early in your career, and I'm so glad that I got somebody like you're the second guy that I've interviewed that's like super early in his amateur career. You know what I'm saying? And I love to ask these questions. So let me ask you this. Where did it start? Like, where did wanting to get punched in the face for a living, where did it start, bro?
It's actually a weird story depending on how far you go back. But like, I can talk a lot of shit. I can talk a lot of shit. I've been smooth talking my whole life. So I've always talked my way out of situations. But the first time I ever had a fight ever in my life, apart from I have two older brothers, apart from them beating me up, was in front of 600 people at a charity event in Norwich at the same place where they do Contenders. But I think what initially started it was a really weird string of things. It was when I went to university, I played UFC 2 for the first time, and I had this one friend called Borkai, and he would rap everybody. Like, nobody could touch him. He would just beat the shit out of everyone. And I was like, all right, so I took it upon myself, like a mission, to get really good at the game, and eventually I did, and then I could beat him up. But then in doing so, then I got exposed to like Joe Rogan, and then started watching MMA and started seeing all the little things, and I was like, all right, this is pretty interesting. And Borkai, my friend, done judo, so that's the first friend I had that's done a bit of martial arts. And from there, I was like, I kind of want to get into martial arts, like just a bit something self-defense, because I'm like a dwarf. I'm like 5'6" or something. And I was looking around, and it's like jiu-jitsu is a lot about, it doesn't necessarily matter about your size, it's more leverage, like all the tech. And I started falling in love with it, so watching YouTube again, more Joe Rogan, more UFC. And then, you know, that stage as a casual fan where you now you think you know everything. You're like, oh, he's going to try past the top mount, and all your friends are sitting there like, oh. But anyway, I had that whole stage. So I trained a little bit of jiu-jitsu when I was in Cambridge. I like really like on and off, barely, like maybe like 2 times a week or something. I wasn't really committed, maybe for a couple months. Anyway, I went through like this whole rut and everything, stopped doing sports and everything. And then eventually, like a whole long story to get there, but I eventually see this thing, Ultra MMA in Norwich. And I'm like, that's the perfect way to do it. It's all for Cancer Research UK. So all the money that gets raised goes to the charity. It's an 8-week training camp for free. Obviously you pay your insurance and that, but everybody's equal level. So it's like, in my head, that was like, that's the perfect way if you want to get into martial arts to compete. And everyone comes in same level. It's all for a good cause. No matter what happens, it's a win-win. And I had a big group of people come through. And then that was when I had my first fight. I'd done that. I was like, oh, if I'm going to get punched in the face or someone's going to try to hurt me, I best take it pretty seriously. And that's when I went in. I was training. I went in. I was like training 5-6 times a week, like as much as I can. I'd work and then go straight to training. And I fell in love with it, and it like completely changed everything around. And the best thing I think back then was, especially when I started learning jiu-jitsu, I have 2 older brothers. One's like, I'm so bad because I don't even know their birthdays. One's like, I'm like 22, but they're both bigger than me. One's like 30, the other one's like 27 or something. And the whole life, I've been slapped around by my 2 brothers, and I could never do nothing about it. But I knew, it was like, as soon as I started learning jiu-jitsu and stuff, I was like, I can get them back now. And after I had my first fight, like my 2 brothers were like, okay, like now you can beat us up. And then that was the best thing. But yeah, that's how I got into martial arts. UFC to Joe Rogan and wanted to beat my brothers up. There you go.
That's an interesting combination of things. I've never heard anything like that before, dude. That's very interesting.
It's a weird one. Yeah. But,
hey, they got you here though, so
yeah. That night of the fight, I remember my coach Max. I had the whole thing to line up to get to that moment, and I remember saying to my coach, I was like, "This could be the start. I feel like this could be the start of something very special for the both of us." And then, as he was putting my Vaseline on everything, and then I went out. I had my first fight, and then like 14 seconds later, I'm on top of the cage, and all my friends are going there, and they're all going crazy because I won my first fight. And then I remember just looking out and being like, "Who knows? Maybe."
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask. So now that you're in, man, and you've had a couple of fights, you know, on your record and whatnot. So what is it? What's the feeling now versus when you were on the outside looking in versus now that you're in? What's the differences?
It's now I notice it's definitely more achievable, seeing what goals I have and where I want to go and how breaking it back down. But like now it's become normal. Like for me going in there, even though it's like my third fight, I'm going in there and it just feels normal. It's like business. I'm just got to turn up. You've got a job to do, and then I have my friends remind me after my last fight, like, you're doing something 99% of people would never do or couldn't do. And then it's like, oh shit, yeah.
Truth.
And it's like that reminder. It's like, oh yeah, but now it just seems like a lifestyle. It's just the way now. Like, I can't go back on it. I don't want to.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, you ain't turning back now. So tell me, man, like, describe your style to me. Like, I feel like in your last fight, we didn't get to see a couple of things that I took away from your last fight was that, for one, I don't know what it is about you UK guys, dude. I don't know what it is about y'all. It's like y'all are all bred the same. You guys are all pressure fighters, bro. I mean, Scott Butters, incredible. He put incredible pressure on his opponents. Richard Mearns, Tom Mearns. You guys are like insane pressure fighters. You come forward and you guys like don't give a fuck. And I saw you doing the same shit. So describe your style to us.
I think it's one of my coaches, Colin Burton, who was also Scots. But what he taught me was that whole like just like less, like almost not disrespectful, but like not giving a fuck kind of personality. Is like we're here to fight now. Like, let's go. Like, cool, you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back 2 times. I don't think, like, as a style, obviously because I'm new to the game, like, I've only been doing it a year and I was out for 6 months with an injury, but I'm still just picking up, like right now I'm just building up all the fundamentals, but I'd like to be able to do everything everywhere. I want to be able to mix it up. I might not be the best striker. Like, you hear the whole GSP thing, not the best striker, not the best grappler or wrestler, but he blends it together better than anyone else does. And that's eventually what I want to pick up, but I'm definitely falling in love with the striking. Pressure and stuff, yeah, it's good, but I want to be able to do it all, in a sense. That's what eventually would be the goal, is to be able to be the best mixed martial artist overall. But again, it's all just building up to it bit by bit.
See, that's the thing, Luke. You know, I'm kind of glad you said that. You know, because most people, when you ask that question, you know, they have a go-to answer. Like, they have, you know, a style that they're gonna say, well, I'm this, I'm that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff that I've been, you know, a lot of points that I make on this podcast that, you know, that people look at me like, BJ, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I say, listen, this new wave of fighters that are coming up, even some have even made it to the UFC, getting mixed martial artists, and first, like, the specialists are being kind of weeded out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, for perfect example, like Ben Askren, Damian Maia, they're past their prime. They've been figured out. You know what I'm saying? Those specialists, you know, but then you have mixed martial artists coming in, you know, like Wei Li Zhang, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have this new wave of mixed martial artists. I think that's a very advantageous thing, man. I really do. I think coming in as a mixed martial artist where you can go anywhere, the fight goes here, you can go there. The fight goes there, you can go here. How do you feel about that?
I feel,
you know, as opposed to coming in as a specialist. You know what I'm saying?
Like not coming necessarily in with a background in. I think it's good for me, because a problem I think a lot of people have or have had in the past is, if you've grown up and you've been taught a martial arts, obviously, you know, it's very much this is the best, that's the best. Like that, there's no, like, now it's mixed style rather than this is the best style.
Right.
And I think a lot of people have to do a lot of unlearning, because you get taught a style in one sense, but then, and this is the right way, but then as soon as you cross over to another art, then it's now like you have to unlearn so much stuff to then apply it. Whereas now I've got the benefit of coming in basically like a blank canvas, and I can just pick up all of the best and the relevant. Like, don't get me wrong, I've got I've got like a Muay Thai coach, Johnny, who shout out to him. He's a wizard. Like the guy's just like an encyclopedia of knowledge. But like he can teach me all of the striking. I've got coaches that can teach me the boxing, and then it's just blending it all together. And I have a coach to help me do that as well. But it like you said, it's the whole new wave now. It's not strikers versus grapplers, or wrestlers necessarily. It's now like it's this new wave where everybody can do everything and they can do it all well. So it's scary times, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, these true mixed martial artists that are coming up, man. You know, I think we're going to start seeing more entertaining fights as these people, as people like yourself climb through the rankings and rise through the ranks and emerge as, you know, these, you know, mixed martial artists, you know. So it's kind of wild. So let me ask you this, man. So you fight at featherweight, you know what I'm saying, and you're not a very big guy to start with, you know. So is featherweight the weight class, or do you see yourself going to bantamweight?
Well, I think like I'm weighing myself now. I basically walk around at featherweight. So bantamweight realistically was always going to be the goal I see, like professionally, probably because I'll be a smaller size. I think I'm the same size as Pedro. Is it Pedro Munoz, the one who fought Frankie Edgar? Yeah, I'm like my body type's basically similar size to him. But I'm gonna do a trial at some point and see if I could make it down to flyweight potentially, like just with diet and stuff. Because I come down. I was around 70 kg for this fight, and it was agreed catch weight, so I was like, cool. And I come down just with diet. I didn't need to water weight. I didn't need to cut or anything. So like, but I could maybe like I could give a run at a flyweight, see what it's like. Again, it's so early. Like we're just learning now what I can do, where I can go, and we're gonna figure this all out. So it's exciting times.
Okay, so when you've only made that walk really twice, you know. So I want you to tell me, man, when you're making that walk, like, you know, when you're already, you know, wrapped up, and, you know, I'm sure that's one thing when you're in the back, but when you're coming out there, I'm sure it's a whole nother thing, man.
Yes, and it's quite weird because you forget it. I think this last fight, I would say that's my first proper fight. I would say because the first one, I feel like the first two opponents I faced didn't necessarily really want to be in there as much as I did, and this one, credit to Phil, like he was ready. Like he was the first person that was like, I can beat this guy, or wants to beat me, and he thinks he can beat him, and that's like we're gonna clash heads, and one of us is gonna be right. But that feeling, it's so weird. But I was thinking about it earlier. It's like walking out, and it's like this reassuring feeling is like, yeah, like this is where I'm meant to be. Like I go out, I have crazy support behind me, my friends, my family, and it's nothing but love. But you go out there and you hear them chanting your name, and everybody going crazy. Like, it's so sick. Like when I did my first amateur fight, the one at Road to Contenders, like you walk out, and like we take over, like all of my friends, you hear like they outnumber everybody else so much. So you go out and you hear everyone there, and it's like you have all this support behind you. Really, you feel almost invincible in a sense. But it's like I'm exactly where I need to be right now. Like, and this is my time, it's showtime. And then I start getting in that headspace, and it's go time.
Man, I mean, woo! Like, I mean, it's because you're going to war.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're going to war, man. Like this guy's trying to take your head off. You're trying to take this guy's head off. I mean, I'm sure you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Scott described it as sometimes like a sick feeling. Like he gets like a sick feeling sometimes before he went out. But
it's the nervousness. Like you'll get it. I think. Me personally, because I come from like I like the whole mental side of fighting. I fell in love with that before I fell in love with fighting, and it's that can make or break fighters. I still think this fight I was maybe a bit too emotional going into it. Maybe I wanted to win too bad in a sense, like rather than just like letting go to the moment. But like you'll get those feelings of doubt, like what if, but like again you see it and it's you're prepared for it. Like you're going in there to either go out on your shield or take the other person out on theirs. So
yeah. So do you do a lot of like, are you the type of fighter who really like, does a lot of research on the person you're getting ready to fight. Because some fighters, they completely indulge themselves into the person that they're fighting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I like like your John Jones and that. He's almost like obsessive with it. I think I'm very much the same. But I'm big on the mental side of it, seeing like mentally making sure you're ready, because you can like what stuck out to me is you can do 12 weeks of cardio non-stop for a fight, and if you come out and you're not mentally prepared, you'll gas out within 30 seconds, and it's all for what? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like I forgot what fighter said it, but it's such a good quote and it always stuck with me. It's like fighting is 90% mental and the other 10%'s in your head. And like I love that. But I remember Firas Zahabi says how fighting leading up to the fight, it's about 80% physical, 90% physical, 10% mental. And then on that fight week and fight night, it is reverse. It's 90% mental, 10% physical. Like, your body's there.
Yeah.
You've got all the demons, everything telling you like, what if it goes wrong? Have you done enough? Like, all of this stuff, but you kind of just have to let go to the moment and then go in there, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that's the words of a warrior, man. I mean, it is what it is.
But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. So look, man, I'm gonna have to be honest with you, man. I got to be straight up honest with you, bro. I see you as the type who would not mind talking shit to the guy if he starts talking shit. Like, I see you as that type.
I think I'm pretty I think I'm pretty humble and respectful, like, if the person's there. But like, I've always having two older brothers, my friends at school, like, the roastings, the grillings that people get, and being witty and stuff, it's always been a part of it. So if someone wants to do the whole verbal jousting and that, I'm always down. It's always banter, it's always fun. But like, even my friends, they're relentless. Like, after the fight, they never held back. So I had this is the Saturday, so the day after the fight, and we were having a couple drinks together, because my friends come down from Morecambe up north, which is like a 5-6 hour drive. Ooh. And James, just to see me, and he goes, "Luke, I drove 5 hours to watch you lose. Like, I hate you." And I was like, thanks. And then my friend Jordan comes in and goes, "Oh no, James, it's too soon. Don't kick a man while he's down, or when he's standing either." And then like I was just and I was just laughing. I was like, I'm so grateful for these friends, but nobody's safe. Anybody can get smoked at any point. So if anybody wants to do the whole talking and that, it's just fun. It's just entertaining. Phil was talking as well, which was funny, but it's all good. It's all fun and games.
Oh, absolutely. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this last fight, Luke. Both of you guys were hot prospects. Like, both of you are.
Yeah.
And actually, Scott had wrote me before this fight went down, and he was like, "Dude, pay attention to this fight. This is for amateur guys. This is a big fight. So I'm paying attention, and the crowd was honking and screaming for both of you guys. This is a big fight. So walk us through what happened, in that fight.
So I think it was a big fight for us both, because he has a lot of support coming from his way. It's like a local derby in a sense. Yeah. Like, where we have Norwich and he comes from like Lowestoft or something. Like, these two, we're meeting up and we're having a little clash. So it's like, oh, who's team? But going through the fight, when I watched it back, it was basically going to plan what we had. The low kicks, overhands, like it was good. When I watched it back, it was quite reassuring. I was like, oh, like I wasn't just getting smashed or anything. We knew he would try to take me down at some point, and I reversed it straight away. And then I watched him and he caught me with a high kick. But lessons learned from it, like, I respect to him for landing a high kick, like, it was a good shot. But the lessons learned from it, like, there was so much. Like, one of the big fears I had before the fight was I've never been clipped or wobbled in sparring, and it's always kind of worried me, because it's like one of those things, like, I want that to kind of happen, so then I have the experience, but I've never had that yet. And that was the first time I've ever been clipped with a shot. And like, you go into the whole autopilot. Now I know what the experience is like. Yeah. So it was as I was coming in with a low kick, he threw up a high kick, and I was on one leg. He landed like shin flush on the jaw. I didn't even see him throw it up. but I was still there, and I wasn't like, do you know what I mean? I was still standing. I like recovered quick, but because my autopilot was to get away from him and everything, I understand. Like I wasn't hurt. His shots weren't hurting me, but I understand why the ref stopped it and everything, and it was annoying. But
I felt like it was an early stoppage too. I felt like he could have let you dig through the trenches a little bit.
Yeah.
He should have. Yeah. Let you dig your way out.
Like a lot of people have said that. Like a lot of more than a few have said it. But I think if I was a professional fighter, it would be different. Because they're amateurs, they're a bit quicker to. But you're not getting paid enough to like get punched and shit like that. It's well, in their eyes. And the guy's a good ref. I think he was reffing on Fight Island, so the guy knows his things. But again, it's my body language was off though. I wasn't hurt, and I was literally just trying to get away from him so I could face him again. I could have clinched him if I just threw something back, brought my guard up. But again, these are the lessons learned now. Now it's like next time if I do get clipped or wobbled, I'm not going to be so like. I'll be more composed and I will be able to handle the situation better. Next time I'll be like, fuck it. Yeah. I can like. Yeah. That's why I was so disappointed. Like you see, as soon as I wasn't hurt or out on my feet or anything, obviously it was clearing the cobwebs. But like as soon as the ref come in, I was like straight away like, oh no, like why? Like I was so annoyed because I had so much fight left in me and I wanted to fight more. I remember one point during the fight thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, like, I could do 3 rounds of this. Like I'm looking for, like I was enjoying it, but unfortunately it went the way it did. But it's a lesson. Now there's so much to take from it with my striking. I wasn't fainting enough. My head was a bit too stationary. Again, there's so much. I've gone through it. I've listed all the things I want to work on, and hopefully we'll see in the next fight the improvements that I've made and then how I've changed and adapted from it. Like I feel like I gained more from, not in a salty way. Like again, obviously I'd be love to win, but I haven't lost yet. Not like on some crazy streak or anything, but like it's like one of those things. Oh, if you want to see if you want to be a fighter or not, it's like yeah, you've had the winning. Now you see what the other side is like. Now that's just like more motivation. Now I know what losing feels like. I don't want to lose again. Or now I can like if I just win that fight, I'll probably go on thinking I'm like Barry Big Bollocks and I can't do nothing wrong. Do you know what I mean? And now this forced me to actually have a look at myself. I was like, no, you could have done more. You could like. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a blessing in disguise, but I'm only going to get better from it. So
yeah. So do you feel like now since that I think you've kind of covered this, but I want to ask it again. Like, so now that you feel like you've experienced a head kick, you've experienced being stunned, you've experienced that. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel next time if that were to happen that you can think your way through it, that you can find your way through that? Yeah,
without a doubt. It was more so one of those things. It was like a little time skip. Like 1 minute I'm there and I was about to attack him, and then the next minute like I'm getting kneed in the stomach and stuff, and my brain was like trying to think like, wait, how did I get here? Like it's next time it's going to be like I'll have the measures and the precautions taken. So if I am stunned or wobbled, I'm not going to go into like, oh, like your autopilot. Next time my autopilot will be to fight back, go through the motions, clinch, fight back. You know, like that's, I think out of everything, the thing that disappoints me the most when I watch it back is it's like, oh, what, just do something, like do anything, like you're going to be fine. But again, like these are the hard lessons now, and now I know how quick like it can shift. Like it wasn't like I was getting battered for the whole fight. It was like that's the fight game. You could be winning the fight for 3 rounds, 5 rounds, and someone throws up one shot and boom, that's it. Now you got to stay alert the whole time. No taking breaks, no rushing into anything. Because I rushed into that low kick, it was so obvious. It was like the 5th low kick out, like after one, after another, and it was so much more intent in that. Like all I had to do was a little fake or something. I never feinted my low kicks to go into my hands. I never feinted much with my hands to go into the low kicks. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
But it was all going to plan to a degree, but apart from I was meant to sit back a bit more and let him come to me, but I think again I got too excited and I wanted to hurt him too bad, so that's why I went after him. But yeah, it was going to the plan till he kicked me in the head, the bastard. So
he seemed to be kind of he was riding high after that win. Like that was a big win for him.
Yeah. What I think's going to happen, BJ, honestly, is, and what I kind of want to happen, I've seen it happen in my head, is I hope he called for the belt and everything, bloody daddy. Like, I hope he goes on and does really well and he gets the belt. And then I'm gonna have a couple fights. I'll come down, I'll meet up him in the future, and I'm gonna beat him and take his belt. That's what I see happening. And that's going to be a way sweeter victory than it would if I just fucking start him in the first 2 rounds.
Yep.
But,
yeah, man. What a storyline behind that. What a fucking storyline.
And there's actually more history as well. We had like one little round against each other beforehand as well, like in like a interclub thing. So that's why he had some like little source on social media, because he'd upload this photo. We had one sparring round. He like landed a jab on me, and like that was it. And then he got the decision. But again, I'd only been training 8 weeks at that point, so like I didn't know nothing. I went into the fight. It was literally just like a last minute thing. Again, that's a whole nother story, BJ. We'll come to that another time. But it'll be a movie. Like that sounds so much cooler if like in a year's time or something I then knock him out then and then take a belt from it. It'll just be funny. But
you know what would be great though? If you guys like years down the road, like just turn into like McGregor Diaz level rivalry.
Like we meet up in the UFC or something.
That would be wild.
Like, it would be good. Like, but again, he's only a kid. He's young. He's 18. Like, he's got obviously if he just keeps putting the work in, like he is. Like, who can say where he can go? He can go far. You know what I mean? Same with me. It's all work at the end of the day. No matter like what talent and everything that you have or what little skills, it's like at the end, it's just how hard are you going to work and how much do you want it realistically. But
yeah. So are you, when it comes to your next fight, are you going to, do you feel like you just need to
get me another fight?
A few things?
Oh yeah. I feel like I want another fight. Like I want one now. Scott messaged me. There's a show called, I think, Celtic Warriors, and they were, I think it was this Saturday, they were looking for fighters between 66 and 61. And I messaged my coach. I was like, let's go to Manchester. And he was just like, no, like, he's like, I've got to protect you from yourself.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, you need to recover fully from your fight and everything. And then, but he will get me straight back in there again. But yeah, I'm just like, that's what I mean. Like, it's only amateur. Your record, like, obviously you want to win and stuff, but your record, it's all about getting experience. As soon as you go pro, you've got a whole new record of clean slate. I just need it. All I need is experience. I just need time fighting. I just need to fight people. I need opponents, and that's where I'm at now. I just want to fight. That's what I think after that fight. Because one of the things I said to my friends and coaches was like, regardless of what happens, if I win or I lose, I just kind of want to I want to learn where I'm at. Like, I want to learn, like, is this for me? Do you really want to do this? And then straight after the fight, I stormed off because I was obviously I was so disappointed with myself. And like the first things, like, all I wanted to do is I wanted to fight again. I was like, I'll fight tonight if I can. I'll fight tomorrow. I just want to fight. And that made me realize that, oh yeah, you probably do kind of want to do this. But I learned, I still think I haven't got like a clear, I will fight and I'll compete. And I really do plan on doing that more in the future. But so far as a career path and stuff, like I can still, even if it's not my main goal, I think I could still make it to a world stage if I dedicate myself to it. Without a doubt,
Absolutely.
I can make it to the UFC. But I think I'm only going to find that, like, if I fight a couple more times, then I feel like I'll get an answer. But like in my gut, I kind of know. But I feel like a couple more fights and that'll give me the brain. But like BJ, I've only been in there like 3 minutes now. I've only had like 3 minutes of actual fighting. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of things I need to experience to see, like, if this is for you and whatnot. But I learned after watching myself back, like I learned more about myself in that one round than I think I ever have in my whole life. Like that was it was crazy. Like learning, like seeing myself. Well, it was all quite reassuring. Like almost like, yeah, you could do this if you want to. You've got what it takes.
So looking for the comment section, Brett King said that there was a lot of emotion coming into that fight. You know,
Brett,
the greatest photographer, the GOAT of photographers, you know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
And then Mike Finn says big things for you, Big Luke. Hey man, Mike, we got to get you on here too, big dog.
Yeah, the ninja. Come on.
Hell yeah, that was tough for your last. That was tough for your last album. The dude just flaked on you like that, man. Oh yeah, dude.
I remember seeing Mike. I remember seeing him happen, like seeing Mike, hearing it, because like a couple hours before the fight started, and I was like, "What?" It was disappointing, I think, for everyone, but obviously for Mike, it must be a different level. But Mikey took it like a champ anyway. He
did, and he was in phenomenal shape. He was ready to crack somebody's fucking head off.
I seen that, man. I seen Mikey working. That guy, like, what he'd come down from, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Mikey, but like 89 kg or something, or 88 kg, down to 77. And then that guy pulled out, and then he lost more to make 75, which he did. And then the other guy pulled out. So it's a bit like, but Mikey wants to, sorry for stealing all your information, Mikey, but I think he wants to fight at 70 now. And that's like a good sign that he can make the weight and stuff. So it's all, like I said, all those bricks have been laid. You put the work in, like it's not going to go to waste as long as you keep it up. So.
Jacob Robinson says, Big Luke, no losses, just lessons. Watch you be 100% better. Oh, I agree. I 100% agree. So going into your next fight, do you feel like you need to approach it differently mentally, or is it just some things on the physical side that you need to tune up?
Definitely, like in all aspects, because obviously you're only learning. Like I'm not John Jones yet. I can't just fucking sit back and be like, "Yep, I've got everything." But even they're still working. But for me personally, mentally, I was too emotionally involved in that fight. My first two that I had, I was like, I'm big on this whole thing, flow state. I don't know if you've heard of it, probably. Like just basically where you're in a headspace. Yeah, so I'm massive on that. And my first two fights that I had, obviously, they were really quick, but it was almost like, I don't even know what, but I got into that headspace, like really good. This one, I think I was so emotionally attached to the outcome. Like I was so focused on winning, what's this going to mean? I was so focused on the result rather than just enjoying it. Like the Mearns brothers, that's what they told me about. Is like, just let go to the moment. I was like, I know this in the back of mind, but again, I was still too deeply attached. Maybe it was all the back and forth we had on social media, but I think it was a lot more as like, to me, I made it such a big thing. Like, oh my God, this is make or break. Like, this is what you want to do. You got to win. You put
a lot of pressure on yourself. Put a lot of pressure on yourself, bro.
Yeah, but like I love pressure though. Like I love it. But obviously, then putting too much on yourself, like again, it takes the fun out of it. Like that's what I realized after fight is like, wait, why do you even fight? It's like, because you love doing this. Like you're an entertainer. You want to go put on a show. Like, and all of those things I basically completely forgot about for that fight. And that's why when you're having fun, that's when you're performing your best. Like the first amateur fight I had, the one where I got the submission, I was watching one of my teammates fight, and he was getting like beaten up quite badly, and it was hard to watch. And I was like, oh shit. And anyway, he loses, and I was like, in a bad way. Anyway, go out the back. And then I tell Colin, it's like, there's my coach then, I was like, there's a 10-minute grappling match, and then we're on. And I wasn't changed or anything yet. I had my hands wrapped, but I wasn't changed. And he's like, okay, start getting changed then, and we'll get ready, we'll go warm up. And then literally, as I'm like about to put my shorts on, Nick Herman, one of the runners, comes in, and he's like, yeah, the guy just got tapped out in 12 seconds, you're now on. And I was like, oh, like we haven't warmed up on nothing yet. And I was just like, oh, actually, do you know what? Like, I'm so ready for this. Like, I'll put all the work. Like, I wasn't even bothered. Like, I'm cold as a cucumber. Went out, hit pads, and that was like the smoothest I've ever hit them. I was loose. There was snap and everything. And I was like, yeah, like I'm ready. Like, this is my time. This time, warming up for this fight, it was like everything seemed a bit off, and it was, do you know what I mean? So, obviously, no excuses or nothing. But I've learned like mentally, I like just have fun with it. Enjoy the process. Stop like you said, don't put so much pressure on yourself. And in the future, I'll do that, and we'll see how that turns out for me.
Especially if you start linking up with the Mearns brothers, man. Richard is huge on the Wim Hof method, the breathing.
Yeah, me and Richard are gonna get on. I'm telling you now, dude. If you see this,
Richard, he's talked about it so many times on here, like. And what I take from it is that it's like a mental thing for him, like
it is.
Richard has told me a couple of times in his career that he can get in his own head sometimes, you know, and using that when he started using the Wim Hof method and, you know, it's like meditation for him, and it just gets him. It levels him out.
Yeah, that's what I'm big on. I'm very much the same. I struggle like with if there's overthinking, like I'm like the king of it. Like it's not a good thing, but I overthink so much. So for me to incorporate, I have to meditate a lot. I have to obviously make sure I'm doing loads of things to negate that and manage that, and obviously being very aware of what you're thinking. And so I think me and Richard are probably very similar in that sense. Or like Wim Hof, I like Wim Hof's a guy. He's a G. He's a wizard. He's a real one. Wim Hof's a real one.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, no, like it's a big part of it for me. I'll say it's a big part for me. But yeah, no, Richard knows. That's cemented it. I'm definitely going that way now to train with those guys.
Yeah, great, awesome guy. Be careful now, because they big fellas now. You don't want to get hurt messing around with the boys.
I'm probably going to get hurt. I'm probably going to get hurt by everyone, no matter where I go. So I'll just enjoy it.
Those guys are fucking tanks. So let me ask you this: like, when you look at the big scene or whatever, like, what fighter is there a fighter that like inspires you? Like, do you look at that fighter like, man, I can use techniques like that. Man, I can. You know what I'm saying? Who do you look at like that?
There's so many. I think one big one for me, like that really kind of made me want to like, oh shit, go after it was Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson. Just one because he was a small guy, but like he's also like the ultimate role model. But like he was like he's like the GOAT for the fact like how balanced he was and good in all areas. If you wanted to wrestle someone for a fight, he could wrestle. If you wanted to outstrike someone for a fight, he could outstrike him. He could out kickbox and all that. Obviously, Israel Adesanya is a big one for me right now. Like, if you wanted to talk about whole specialists and everything again, that's the advantage that the specialist does have. Like, as long as you can nullify the other, like the takedowns and that, but like Izzy's on such a level of striking, he's so high up above other people. It's like it gives him such an advantage, if you know what I mean.
Luke, I'm sorry, man. I mean, this interview has been great, dude, but Paulo Costa is going to take his fucking head off, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, man. But I mean, he is great. He's great. He is all those things. But Paulo Costa is going to take his head off with him, dude.
I'm excited to see that, because, like they say, stylistically, it's like the ultimate pressure fighter versus the ultimate technical striker. Now, but we're gonna have to stream like watching the fight, and we'll just be getting that the whole fight.
Absolutely, man, for sure. Absolutely, man. Yeah. So that's who you pull your inspiration from, man. That's just, I mean, that's if you're gonna pull from somebody, pull from the best, bro. And you just
GSP. GSP is another one.
GSP. Yeah, man.
But there's so many wizards out there. Anyway, sorry, go on.
No, you're good, man. So if you had to map out a 5-year goal, where do you see?
Let me get up my document I have on my laptop right now. Ready? No, it's on there, but I don't even need to look at it. But for fighting sense, like obviously if you want to do the whole typical end goal, the dream would be like UFC champion. I don't even think being a champion's like necessarily my dream, but I can still make it to. Like this is the thing. Let me get one belt first. Who knows? I might get one belt and I'll be like, oh my god, I want every single belt. But like for 5 years anyway, where I think I'd want to realistically, I'm looking to be pro within around 5 years. Obviously, depending how it goes, my level of experience, I'm not going to rush into it. I want to do it properly. So when I do go pro, I'm ready and I can start pushing up. But 5 years, I'd like to have probably at least a couple belts on something. I want to compete on IMAF. Have you seen that? The amateur internationals. I want to compete on there. So obviously 5 years pro. I want to fight on Cage Warriors Academy as well. Make a run on there as well. And probably within 5 years, I'd want to be like top 10 ranked UK amateurs, or if anything, like number 1 ranked UK amateur in the world would be cool. Or if not in the world, UK and Ireland. Like within 5 years anyway, definitely without a doubt. But yeah, I think around the 5 year mark, obviously we'll see how it comes, but I'll definitely be looking probably around then to be professional and have a good.
Then you have promotions. Then you have promotions like Cage Warriors, or in promotions like Bellator, who take those 0-0 fighters and give them a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, if you can go on Cage Warriors Academy and you can make like you're going to be fighting probably the best in the country, like that and IMAF. Like if you can do well on IMAF and make like go for a little run or make a name of yourself, then like
Yeah.
you're like the top amateurs in the world. Like you're gonna be there. Cage Warriors Academy as well. If you're winning, if you've got belts on Cage Warriors Academy, more than likely you're going to be within position like of being like the best fighters in UK and Ireland. So
Yeah.
like amateur anyway. And then like you said, that funnels as like a perfect doorway into bigger shows like Cage Warriors because obviously they know what you're about and they've seen you fight, and so that's the kind of path I see myself going down, would be fighting, like just getting more fights experience and that, and then as the opportunities come I'll keep taking them and then just keep fighting and see where it goes.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell
Man,
yeah.
I mean, this is great, man. This is great. I love it, bro. Because now, like, I feel like I'm back where I started when I first interviewed Scott years ago. When I first interviewed Richard years ago, because it's like now I get to watch your career progress through. You know what I'm saying? Because I watched theirs. You know, I watched the ups and downs, Richard's ups and downs, Scott's, and then Richard and Scott fought each other, and I was like, "What the fuck am I gonna do here?" Like, dude, it was so wild, dude. And what was crazy about it is I told them, I told each of them, I said, it'd be a great fight to see you fight Richard. And I told Richard, I'd like to see you fight Scott. And a year and a half later, they both are like pinging my inbox, like, bro, it's happening. I'm like, oh no.
Okay. I bet you had no idea how to feel about that. That was just like such a mixed bag of emotions.
Oh my god, dude! I was like, no, like I can't do this.
Yes, but no. But yeah, no, it's awesome. The thing with Scott, and I'm sure when I meet up with Richard and that, like, I need to message them saying thank you, like just for talking to him actually. But like with Scott, is his career obviously went the way it did and everything, but like all of the knowledge, experience, and everything he learned is still there. And now I'm coming up, and he's literally like he can like all like the mistakes he says he may have made, which he learned from. Like I won't have to make those again. Like, do you know what I mean? I can progress like for him. That's what he's saying. Like the whole believe in the beard 2.0.
Yeah, hell yeah, he's the guy. Great guy, man. Like he's turned himself into a monster.
No, he's a G. Like I've nothing but love for him. Like the gym I train at, he coaches at, so I'll still see him and everything. Like it's always good to. So when I went after the fight, like on the Sunday or whatever, when I went to go train, and he was there, and again he was like always just sitting there talking to me, everything, giving me advice. Like it's nothing but love for him. He's helped me a lot. And why I'm so grateful for Scott is he gave me like that glimpse into the future. When he fought on Cage Warriors, he took me with him. So I went there, I helped him do the weight cut, which was like an interesting thing to see. But he cut like 3 kilos in one morning, like that. And I watched that and I was like, geez. Yeah. But he took me with there, and we go through to this, what is it? It's called like the Intercontinental or something, or Continental Hotel. This like fancy bougie 5-star hotel in the middle of London. And we go up there, and you got all the camera crews and Cage Warriors, and I'm sitting there looking around like, oh my god, like Paddy the Baddy's there. I look over in the corner, I see Brad Pickett's there because like one of his fighters is there, and I'm just sitting there like starstruck, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, like I could do this. Like I could definitely do this. The best thing, I think, the funniest thing actually for me was after the Cage Warriors fight, you get given your wristbands. And like we've got the fighters one and all of that. So Scott fights first, and then I'm like, okay, like I'm just gonna go off for a bit because so he's with his wife and everything, having a good time. And I just walk around, and I'll go up to rooms. There's like these big security men, and I'll look at them.
Hold on, Luke. Brett says that you got starstruck when you saw him there. I'm sorry, man.
Fuck's sake, Brett. Stop releasing my secrets, Brett. They're not meant to know. Fuck's sake.
Go ahead, man. What were you saying, bro?
I do love Brett. But yes, I walked through, and there's all these big security guards. And I just look at them and I kind of just go like, and I show the wristband and they're just like, okay. So I'm just going everywhere at the O2, walking like willy nilly. I'm just like, can I go hit you? The next thing I know, I'm watching all these guys fight, and I'm sitting there. I think Nathaniel Wood's there. Like, you're just seeing all of these people, and then I kind of go up to the VIP, and now I'm looking down, watching like all the fights, and I'm just like, it was like one of those moments. It was like, yeah, I could feel it in my soul. I was like, yeah, if you want this, like this is it. Like, you can go this way. So I think it'll make sense. I don't know if you know much about Paddy the Baddy, but he had some whole beef with this American guy because he fought on Tough, and he was coming over to fight Paddy the Baddy. I think it was like 8 pounds over or something. And I'll send it to you, but it's on the Instagram. Like, they're all kicking off now. Like, so I'm at the weigh-in, and these guys are having like a full like heated, like kicking off at each other. Like, oh, what do you mean you didn't make weight, you fat bastard? Get in the sauna now. Like, all trash talking everything. And I was like, oh my God, like, now I'm witnessing the trash talking like in the flesh. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, so you see it, somebody filmed it. I think Paddy's like entourage, like his camera crew. And they're filming this back and forth. And I'm just sitting there next to Scott at the front, just like smiling, like laughing it up. I'm like, oh my God, the drama. I'm just a fan at the end of the day, like just a fan of
man.
In general. That's all it is. This is nothing but love for it.
That's what I tell people on here, man. Like, people say, BJ, how can you say stuff like what you say? And I'm just like, listen. Just because I have this podcast, that does not mean that I'm not a fan. I'm a fan. Yeah. Like,
how could you not be? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just have a podcast about MMA, but no, I don't really like it. It's just like, of course, you're passionate about it. That's what makes it so good.
Absolutely. And another thing, what I'm saying, that I found, you talking about how you've grown and the things that you have to do to become the best fighter that you can become. I was talking to a couple of my comrades the other day, and I told them, I said, man, it's time, like you're saying, it's time for the new wave of mixed martial artists to come through instead of specialists, and on my side of things, it's time for a new wave of MMA journalists, man. Like, it's time for these mundane questions. Yeah, bro. Like, the media, the MMA media, they ask some of the most mundane questions, dude. And it's just like you get so pumped and excited for these press conferences. I'm like, fuck yeah, you get to see the fighters, and then you get shitty questions from the fucking media, and I'm like, what the fuck?
It's almost like you got a bunch of robots, like, just going through the motions. You've got real people up there. Like, I think you should also get real people interviewing them back. Like Ariel Hawani's one I like. He's obviously like a really mainstream.
He's like right in the middle, though. He's like right in the middle.
He plays the game, but he also does have that little bit other side to him. But like, no, obviously you'll be at the top. When you're at the UFC conferences, you BJ, you're there interviewing them. So
I'm gonna ask the real questions. I'm gonna ask the real questions. The questions everybody wants to hear.
BJ Johnson, the people's journalist.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Now, see, that's got a nice little ring to it, bro. Luke, man, the floor is yours. The floor is yours, man. Give a shout out to your coaches, your sponsors, anyone. The floor is yours, brother.
Okay. First of all, like, I want to thank everybody for the fight who came to support. The support is crazy. All the messages for after the fight as well. Everyone thanking me. All right, coaches, Max Bateman, legend. Johnny, thank you. Rui, my strength and conditioning coach. Like, I'll send you the before and after pics, but the guy whipped me up in some crazy shape in no time. Eugene, Mr. Chips himself, thank you for all the boxing. Thank you for all the help. Brett for the photos. And then also my sponsors. You see this one here, Wired Fitness.
Yeah.
I'm going to get one out to you, Brett. You'll be the first person in America to have one of these, yeah? Mr. Yeah, get you one of these.
Okay.
Get you one of these.
Yeah.
And then also Hustle, Bobby Harrison, the guy, like, he's done some videos. I'll send them to you as well on my socials. But his visuals and everything, he has his own brand called Hustle, which is such a sick name in itself. But his visuals and recording and everything was awesome. So shout out to all of them, and Phil as well for fighting and kicking me in the head. That was good. But yeah, and thank you for this. This is awesome. I really appreciate it. So I'm looking for. This is my debut. This is my
man. You're part of the No Filter MMA family, man. I'll be sending you out a fighter kit with a shirt. a
Oh,
mask as
love
well.
that. Yeah, man, I haven't got a mask. I haven't got like a legit one yet, which I can rep everywhere. But this is my podcast now.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah, live perform.
You come to No Filter MMA anytime you want to come over, man. Anytime you want to get on and talk. Anytime you have a fight leading up, man, you can come
Yep.
right here and we'll talk it out, bro.
Oh,
Absolutely.
mate, awesome,
And one thing I'm planning on doing too, I've been thinking, I built up a nice little repertoire of you UK guys, and I would love to just bring every last one of you on and just wrap it up with all you guys one day. Because I'm telling you, man, I've interviewed fighters. I've interviewed fighters from the US, from all promotions, everything, dude. And nothing is better than my UK interviews. My UK guys, I'm telling you, you guys give it's like a different breed of guy, like a different breed of people. Sort of in a way, like there's definitely a difference. Like you guys are just like more open. You guys are willing to talk. Like some people I interview, and it's like I ask them something, and they give me like a 5-second answer, and I'm like, next.
What can I do with that? No, I think me personally, and probably a lot of other UK guys, but it's just like be real, innit? Be yourself. Try your best to be as authentic as you can be. Whether if people like you or not, who cares? But there's only one you, so you might as well be you. Absolutely. But we're gonna get you over to the UK and get you trained in the UK, beating people up like little dwarves like myself. So that's what.
Let's go. For sure, man. I'm down. I'm down.
On tour. No filler MMA on tour.
That's right. That's right. I'm ready for it, man. But listen, man, you are now part of the No Filter MMA family. I appreciate the interview, man. This has been fucking fun, and I cannot wait to do it again, Luke.
I just saw how long we've been talking. It feels like 10 minutes. But
I know, man. We've been talking for an hour, bro. This was great. This was awesome.
This was awesome. Now, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to the main what we do in the future. So,
yes, sir. Absolutely. All right, guys, go follow Luke Goodge over on Facebook, guys. And guys, also go follow Contenders. If you guys are not following Contenders, then I don't know what the fuck you're doing, because Contenders is like the shit over in the UK, and I fucking love how professional they are. I will be working media whenever they decide to do Contenders Florida. I was supposed to do that.
Oh, wait, I was about to say, that makes so much sense. I want to try and hopefully wiggle my way so I can come over to America across the pond as well. If I can get on that show, well, I'm there.
Yeah. Man, I had hotel booked, flight booked, money saved. Everything was good. And then COVID-19 hit, man, and it was like...
I saved I had money aside because, I said, I want to see if I'm a fighter or not. I had 2-3 weeks booked at TriStar Gym in Canada, and I was going to just live and train there. And then next thing you know, Corona time. And I was like,
Yeah, but we're going to figure it out, man.
Okay. All right. So anyway, thank you. I'll leave it to you. I don't know how to escape or what happens. I'll stay here all night.
All right, guys. This is your boy BJ back. This is Luke Goodge. You guys go follow Luke Goodge. He's one of the baddest motherfuckers in the UK. You hit that like button, hit like button, hit that subscribe button, and we are up out of here, man. Peace out, Luke.
Peace. In a bit. Give you some spuds.
Peace out, bro.